So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to be talking to the CEO of Funder Pro. Gary, it's awesome to meet you. Thank you for taking the time out to talk with me today. And obviously, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the prop firm industry right now. And, the market is currently trading around all-time highs. So there's just all kinds of craziness going on. But before we start diving into it, why don't you just give me a little bit of background about yourself? Did you come from a trading background, more of a business background? And then also kind of just like a little bit of an overview on Funder Pro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, look, thanks so much for having me on your channel. I've liked your content for a while. It's really, really good stuff. I like the way you're taking it lighthearted, but there's still a good message behind it, so that's really cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, look, my background, initially not trading. I come from, I suppose, a business innovation background, engineer before that, and really I came into the space. I suppose one of my co-founders is a trader, and we've been in the space for the past 10 years, creating technology for many different parts of the fintech industry. So broker side, prop now, crypto, and multiple other areas. And I suppose the reason why we made Funder Pro is, the same way as you're pointing it out quite a lot, there's a lot of things that aren't exactly working too well in the industry. What we've done and what we always do is try and have a trader first perspective. So at the end of the day, if we can build something that is pro trader and we align alongside the trader, everybody's winning in that scenario, and then our business will be successful. So that's the mentality that we've taken. So from the beginning, we've sent every trade to market. That's always been our goal, to say, okay, look, we want to prove to the industry it's possible, it can happen. You're sending every trade to the market, and because you're doing that, then it means that you're able to do so many other different things to everybody else. So that's the way we've done it, and we've been working to innovate the whole way through since.
Yeah, that's awesome. So as you mentioned, I have been kind of shouting on my social media that I've been trading with you guys, and I really like what you guys are doing. You guys advertise that you're the only prop firm to put traders on real funds, which right off the bat as a trader gives you a sense of okay, they're pro trader, they're for the trader. And then one other thing that I think is very important is the daily payouts, how flexible you guys are with your payouts. Essentially, you can treat it like your own cash account, basically, as long as you have profits to withdraw. You can do it. You can withdraw frequently as often as you want. So all those things are what I'm looking for in a prop firm. And so when I found that, I was excited to trade with you guys. I've been funded now for about 2.5 weeks, I think it is. So I was able to take a couple payouts in those 2.5 weeks, and I've had a great experience so far. But so like you said before, how it can be done. I do a little bit of work with like Prop Firm Journal and stuff, and I know some of the discussions with them, like they were even surprised, like, can they do that? Can they really put traders on real funds? Like, talk about that a little bit more. Do you guys have to kind of manage your risk as a company differently than other prop firms, or what challenges does that create for you guys, or kind of maybe give us a little bit of a breakdown on that?
Yeah, of course. So first and foremost, it's the challenge that you take in the beginning. So we don't pretend that we're the easiest. We're definitely not. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, if we're really funding traders, we need to make sure that the traders are good. And so if you're passing a Funder Pro challenge, you're passing through harder criteria, the chances that you're going to be a better trader are already higher. And so that's essentially the beginning. That's where we start. And then it's just then the conditions that we're placing for traders to maintain that profitability. So it's giving those daily payouts. Again, I want you as a trader to solidify your profit quick, because the quicker you solidify your profit, you don't have that next day, you don't have the drawdown that then eats into your profit, and then both of us are losing that opportunity. You're solidifying it now, you're keeping your share and we're keeping our share. So yeah, that's kind of how we're approaching it. In terms of then the risk side, yeah, look, it really is just the criteria and finding good traders to work with, and then yeah, giving them the tools. So you might have seen in the last week or two, we've been starting new content now around revenge trading and looking at that side of things. Because at the end of the day, you know, we've got a lot of data. We look at all the accounts, you know, just to see what the patterns are. And the biggest thing that we found was after a trader has two unsuccessful trades in a row, the chances of them spiraling that account and hitting drawdown are way increased. And so what we want to do as a company, first off, we'll make content around it. So we'll inform people, listen, you know, after that second unprofitable trade, close the computer, step away, you know, just take the temptation away, and clear your head. And then, so we'll start with content. We're going to now start building tools around it. So we're going to start sending emails to traders to say, okay, you've lost two trades in a row, you might want to just step back. And we'll start escalating it from there. So again, using the knowledge that we have, we want to empower our traders. We want to help them make better decisions, which then is a benefit to us and it's a benefit to the trader.
That sounds like a great tool, one I could use, because I know sometimes you get in that fog and you know you're like you just keep pressing that button and then like next thing you know you're like, wait, what did I just do? You know what I mean? It can happen so fast. But now question for you: if you would happen to have a trader who was, you know, taking challenges and, you know, passing on a relatively regular basis, but then very quickly breaking a roll and losing their funded account quickly, and they were doing that repeatedly. If someone was doing that enough times, would you, as a company, be like, hey, listen, we got to part ways. It's just not working because you're costing us too much money? Or do you guys have anything like that in place, or not something you've had to deal with yet?
Yeah. So yes, is kind of the short answer. You know, I suppose you'll probably hear the other story quite often in the industry that somebody's making too much profit, and then for some reason they're not a good fit for the firm anymore. Yeah, the opposite is true here. At the end of the day, yes, you know, we're looking for safe, long-term, consistent traders, and so if somebody is taking that gambling approach, you know, it's just not really a good fit. So again, we're not very harsh. We're trying to do it the soft approach. We're trying to say, okay, listen, you know, here's some information. Here's the things that you need to keep an eye on. But if it kind of consistently happens, or let's say if people are breaking the rules in terms of weekend holding or different things like that, where they shouldn't be doing, you know, again, we'll inform. You do it again. I'm sorry, but it's just not going to work.
So I come from more of a futures trading background. I actually started, so I've been trading a little over 2 years now. And I actually started trading a cash account, trading options, you know, options in the stock market and on individual names, SPY, QQQ, that kind of thing as well. But then after about the first year trading, I kind of burned through all my personal capital that I was willing to burn through in my trading, you know, learning. So I started moving to the funded route, originally with Top Step, and then I've used Apex a lot. And I think probably the most popular conversation I have in my DMs on Instagram is Forex traders asking me about futures and futures traders asking me about Forex and the differences. So, you know, when I trade with you guys, like I said, I'm a futures trader. So I basically look at the futures chart and I make my decisions based off of that futures chart. But I use, you know, NAS 100 or SPX or US 30 to then place those trades, which if you don't know, those are the corresponding tickers for those assets. And so what else can you tell us about the differences with Forex and futures? For instance, just like little things like, you know, in futures, they call it a contract. You know, you have this many contracts, and in Forex, you have this many lots, and futures contracts expire quarterly. Do Forex contracts or lots ever expire? Just kind of what kind of differences and similarities can you tell us about the two different markets?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think you've pretty much highlighted the majority around it. I think one of the biggest elements is that mental part, like what you're saying. It's just bridging that gap between the two. It's learning the new terminology. It's obviously the trading platform is a different trading platform, and the way it gets executed. However, the gap between the two is actually much closer than what a lot of traders think. I think that the main point you're talking about is your contracts versus your lots, and getting an understanding of how to calculate that, how to calculate your risk, setting your stop loss and take profit, just making sure that you're getting the right risk setup and the amount of capital that you're putting on that trade at any point in time. I think that's probably the biggest hurdle, where traders just need to learn the new terminology and then get a feeling for how placing a trade and setting up your risk profile.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest learning curve for myself coming. I frequently oversized when I started trading in the forex markets, just because I just didn't fully understand the leverage. And with futures, everything's kind of like round, even numbers, where it's relatively easy to be like, okay, I have a 10-point stop. I'm going to take 2 contracts here. I'm risking this amount of money, and you can do it in your head pretty quickly. To where when you move to forex, it's a little bit different. You got the decimal points, and you think to yourself, one lot doesn't sound like a big position size, but it actually is. And because you can use the decimals, now that I've been trading the last 2.5 weeks with you guys, like my typical position size on a NAS 100 trade is, anywhere from 0.02 to 0.04 lots. Is kind of like my starter position. And I would say that's like similar to trading a few micros in the futures market, a few micro contracts. And the one other thing, I actually made a reel about this. I'm trading through Trade Locker with you guys.
Yeah.
And the way that I have taken some other Forex prop firm challenges, and like there was no really easy way to calculate your risk on that trade unless you used an outside position calculator on a website somewhere, you know what I mean? But built into Trade Locker, you basically can, drag your stop loss and adjust the lots, and it's going to tell you how much you're risking based on where that stop loss is. Or you can actually type in, I want to risk $100, and drag your stop loss to where you want it to go. So that's a super nice feature that helped me a lot making that transition.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's that's a feature. It's been added, I'd say about probably as long as you're using it, maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. But yeah, it's getting a huge amount of feedback that it's very positive. I think traders are like that. It can be quite difficult. And again, even with your prop firm talking about leverage, the leverage does vary by the different asset classes. And so you could be 100 to 1, or you could be down as 2 to 1. And so, there's a lot of variation that can obviously, catch somebody, especially if you're not used to leverage and you're coming from the future side. And so, yeah, I think it's an awesome tool that helps bridge that knowledge gap and gets you more used to, until you get a feeling. And as you say, now you set between 0.02 and 0.04. And now that's your safe space. You're already learning that. But I guess that first couple of weeks, it just gets you over the hump.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess one other thing that's talked about when we're talking about the differences between the two is spreads. And I know, like, in the Forex market, when it's after hours on certain things, the spreads will be a lot wider than when there's more volume. And I haven't noticed a big gap on the spreads within the indices much at all. But the one thing I did notice is that, like, when I'm taking a buy position, that I was getting filled like right at the buy price. But when I was taking a sell position, I was getting filled lower. Is there something to that? Was that just a thing with the spreads? I'm honestly curious. I don't know. So I didn't know if that was, the spreads are different on this than the sells or the buys, or if I'm just wrong there.
No, in effect, it's just down to the market and the order book that's in place. So from the trades going through Trade Locker, it'll go out to the the broker, then to the liquidity provider with their order book. So it really is depending on any point in time, how stacked that order book is. Again, how large the trades are. I think there's, as you're saying, still quite big trade sizes, even though you're going to the decimal places. It does eat up the order book relatively quick, especially when you're trading, let's say, a 50k or 100k account with leverage. So because you're eating up the order book, the spreads are just that natural part of the market, and then you will find, at some points in time, you might see that trend. Sometimes it might be flipped. It really depends on the market and how it's doing at that point in time.
Moving towards I guess you could say maybe the drama, or I don't even know if you'd call it drama, maybe even a little bit more of like a distrust that's taking place with traders and prop firms recently. You see a lot of prop firms recently who are losing their relationship with their broker. I've seen comments a lot of times online where people will say that a prop firm, gave them some sort of bogus reason as to why their payout got denied, or, when they reached out about their payout getting denied, they got ghosted altogether. And you see a lot of horror stories out there, and it kind of feels like traders don't have a whole lot of trust in the industry right now. What is I know we talked about this a little bit at the beginning. You guys are obviously doing things differently there with the real funds, but do you just have a take on anything that's going on everything that's going on in the industry? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think well, of course, there's a lot going on. The fact that, some clients now just through the broker, won't be able to get MT4, MT5, which is the platforms that they're very used to using. That's obviously, changing the dynamic for a lot of traders. People are now starting to have to learn new trading platforms. But I think, to that point, as a business in the prop firm industry, the thing to understand, I suppose, is the risk side. So as a prop firm, and let's take FunderPro as an example, I know at any point in time how much I could lose on live traders, because at the end of the day, my maximum loss is 10% of the overall capital. And so I know at any point in time how much traders could lose, which means the business loses. Where if you're on the other side of that and you're not sending those trades to the market, it technically is an infinite loss, because your trader could have, like we've had a trader who had a 200k account and made 145k in 2 weeks. We thought it was awesome. Not everybody would.
Yeah, I can imagine that meeting would be a little bit different at some other firms.
Yeah. So it's like, so that trader was taking his daily payouts, and we were very, very happy to facilitate those daily payouts. But the thing to remember, I suppose, is that, okay, if you're doing that model, you need to make sure that the revenue keeps coming in. And I suppose depending on the trading platforms, depending on, how customers are happy with the changes that are happening, it may then affect the business revenue, which then, of course, can have knock-on effects to the overall business. So look, I think it's, there's a lot happening. Look, we're generally not the type of company who gets too concerned in what the rest of the industry is doing, or talking about it too much. But what I'll just say is, look, we're focused on what we do. We're focused on doing it the right way. So we know that, every trader is going to get paid out, because every trader is getting their profits from the market. We're keeping a tight eye on our traders that are passing, making sure that our losses aren't going to be too much when they hit drawdowns. And so we're in a good position where we'll maintain and pass through, the whole way. And then if something is to happen, we still know, because of our business model, if our sales drop, for instance, if less traders keep coming through the door, that's not going to affect our position to pay out the traders that are due a payout.
Gotcha. One place I have to give you kudos on is how quickly you guys process the payouts. The first payout I requested, it was on a Sunday. I had a good trading day on Friday, and I went about my day. And then it was Sunday. I said, you know what? I didn't do a withdrawal. Let me see if I can do it right now. So it was a Sunday afternoon. I'm thinking, maybe it'll get processed on Monday. It was in under an hour. I had the payment sent to me. Everything was processed like immediately. So kudos to you guys on that front. That was awesome to see.
Yeah. So how it works is we get a ping in our messaging app. I then see that ping and I hit process. So it's like, as soon as I see it, I love pressing it because obviously everyone, it's really nice to get traders getting paid out. So yeah, as soon as we see that, traders get processed. We're working on also actually just automating the whole thing through so that it's just going to be absolutely instant. When you press withdraw, it just happens instantly. So yeah, we're pretty quick. We're as quick as I can press the button, I'll press it.
So I had made a post, and this is kind of, I guess, moving back towards the no trust in prop firms right now. And I had made a post where I was talking about Trade Locker and how you can calculate your position size. And there were like 2 negative comments. Somebody commented like, "Oh, this is a scam," and somebody commented like, "When a company's lying to you on their website, it's a bad look or whatever." And they were like, basically their complaint was, it says you can hold through weekend holding, and then when they looked at an account, it said no weekend holding. Well, they were looking at one of the day trading accounts. If they would have clicked over to the swing trading account tab, a different account type, you guys do offer weekend withholding. So I just wanted to make that point to any of the people out there who are saying like, "Oh, they're putting this on their website." It's not true. It is true. Sometimes you guys just have to click and read a little bit more.
Yeah. Look, I think that these things are always going to happen. I think from our perspective, we're always here for feedback anyway. Sometimes, somebody's not going to see it. Sometimes they have a valid point. I think one of the pieces of feedback we got in our AMA sessions on Discord was that, hey, I made a profit, and then I was in profit, but I hit drawdown, and so technically I lost 5% in a day. However, that trade account still closed in a profit. I should get paid my profit. And actually, I was thinking, yeah, of course, actually you should. So our system was automated. It just cut the person out as it does. But actually that person still made a profit. They're due their money. And so we changed the terms and conditions to say, yeah, of course, you get a payout. Okay, you lose the account because you hit your drawdown. However, you do deserve to get your money because you made profit. So I think we're always open to that feedback anyway. Where we're wrong, we put our hands up. Where we're right, we'll just try and kind of inform and educate.
Yeah, and you don't see that kind of thing elsewhere. and I mean, I think we all obviously we know why, right? But most firms you got to take a week to pass the challenge, and then it's normally at least 2 weeks till you can request a payout. And then even on top of that, sometimes depending on who it is, you can only take a very limited amount or a portion of those profits. For example, I told you I've traded with Apex a lot, and I one time ran up a pretty big profit on like 2 weeks of trading with them, and so it's like, okay, 2 weeks I can take my first withdrawal of $2,000, and but it wasn't within the payment window, right? And so like you can only take it from the 5th to the 10th or whatever. So then I had to wait another 2 days, and I ended up going on tilt, making some bad decisions because I was on such a hot streak. I got overconfident. And one thing my trading mentor always taught me is that you want to take withdrawals. You want to pay yourself. Even if you want to grow your account, that's fine, but take 50 or 60% of the profits, leave the other 40, 50% in there to grow your account, because if not, it kind of turns trading into this almost like a small account challenge where you're trying to just grow the account as big as you can, or just flipping an account where you're trying to make a whole lot of money just to flip it. It's kind of naturally gets you into that mindset of like not paying yourself. And it's almost becomes like a video game, like you're just trying to get the high score, and that's definitely what happened to me. Like I was up so much, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna make so much money. Like, so you get overconfident, you keep going. But when you take that payout and you see the money hit your bank account, lets you reset a little bit, it makes it tangible. And so I can't say enough. I'll preach that all day long, that what you guys are doing, that alone is the best thing going in the industry. So
awesome. Yeah, no, thanks. Look, again, you're totally right about it's the same as what we were talking about the revenge trading earlier, just the opposite. You know, you get that streak and you want to keep going. And you're like, okay, maybe I can make 5 grand today. Maybe I can make 10 grand today. Where, yeah, you just need to say, you know, set your rules, you stick by your rules, and you go, okay, look, I've made enough profit, put the computer down now. You know, press that withdrawal button, reset, come back tomorrow. Because yeah, it's the same thing in the opposite. You know, you can very quickly lose money by doing too much. You can very quickly, you know, lose your profits by doing too much as well.
And do you guys offer, you know, a lot of the prop firms do the affiliate links and stuff? Is that something that you guys offer? Do you have an affiliate program? How does that work?
Yeah, so in our in the trader portal where you log in, we have a tab in there for referrals. So you go in and you'll get a code and you can share that with your friends, and then they can come in. We can also work with you and I suppose get a discount involved in that as well. So what's quite cool, and I suppose anybody who's come through, you know, people who've been talking about Funder Pro and where we see them and they might be doing some really good educational work, we'll share the affiliate link with them and also give them a coupon that's tied to it. So when you press their link, let's say in the YouTube channel or in Instagram, you will automatically have that discount applied to your basket. So it's a nice little feature. It also then says, okay, you know, the creator who's making this nice content, they get the benefit of sending those people through, and then, you know, the person that's coming through gets a nice discount applied to the basket too.
Very nice. And so this one's I guess a little bit of a dig at all my Apex people again, right? Because it's been dawning on me recently, like how kind of genius the like psychology behind their setup is, where they do the evaluations at a super cheap price, right? They're always offering 80 or 90% off. You can take an eval for, you know, $30, sometimes $40, whatever it may be. But once you pass that eval is then when you pay an activation fee. So then you're paying like another $150 on top of it. So you're, you know, whatever, $180, $200 on most of their accounts. But you guys actually, and a lot of the Forex prop firms do this, but you guys actually, you pass the challenge, you actually get a refund, correct? Is that how it works? Like you pay for the challenge and you pass it and you get a full refund? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you'll get a full refund. I think often as well, one of the things to look at, not everybody does it the same. So I think some prop firms will give it to you on your first payout, but you may never get to your first payout. And then, yeah, they do certain things like that. So with us, yeah, you'll get a full refund. You pass the challenge and you'll get a refund at that point in time. And then, you know, hopefully you go on to make a profit. But if you don't, you've still got your refund back on that challenge.
Yeah. And so the other thing I was thinking was so genius about their thing is, we talked about the affiliates is what made me think about it, is their affiliates that they're paying out then are only getting the commission on that $30 account. So it's like a very cheap, you know, very low commission as opposed to, so like you guys, you're getting an affiliate percentage off of the full price of the account. And then the customer, if they pass, then doesn't, you know, they get that money back. So it's just funny how things can be marketed to make you feel one way, but it's not always what it seems to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, I just wanted to make those points because as I you know, the more I've used you guys, so these things are like popping into my head, like, wait, this, you know, this makes a whole lot of sense, you know, what they're doing over there. But so another question I wanted to ask you, I saw you guys are the sponsor of is it a Formula One driver?
Yeah. Our Formula 2 driver, Ollie.
Okay.
That's his helmet over there.
His name's Ollie?
Ollie Berman.
Okay.
So he drives F2 for Ferrari. And I think this year he's also progressing his way up into F1. So he's going to be a test driver for the F1 car. So I think, yeah, it's really cool for us. The reason why we actually were supporting Ollie is, really the journey that he's on is the same as a funded trader and their goals. His goal is to really learn his craft, continue growing, and then go from F2 into, I suppose, the premium car racing F1, the top of the top. And so that progression through, and there's a lot to learn even from the way that he's approaching things. The funny thing is, you think the two might be quite different, but actually it's quite similar in terms of the psychology is a major part of his game, and making sure psychologically he's showing up every day. He's taking those calculated risks, going into the corners, and making sure, that within these tight limits, he's pushing it to the limit. So yeah, that was our reason for supporting Ollie. Not only that, obviously he's a really nice guy as well. So it's always nice when you can work with somebody like that who's actually nice. But yeah, so we're there. Our goal with that was just to, I suppose, show publicly we're here. We want to work with somebody like that, somebody who's got a reputation and is growing within his industry, and just for us becoming more visible and saying, look, we're not hiding behind anything. We are here. We're clear that we're here. We want to associate ourselves with a reputable brand, because I suppose the way that we're trying to approach the industry as well is, we care about our reputation. We care about doing the right thing, and being there and being public and being accountable. Again, like what we were saying earlier, I want to be accountable for the things that we're doing. And so, if we're not doing it the right way, if the rules are wrong and our customers aren't happy with that, I want to learn from that. I want to make it better. And so, it all just kind of fills into our philosophy of just being there, being present, doing the right thing.
I love it. That's awesome. That's good to hear. Have you ever got to test drive one of those cars around the track? Give it a little whip around the track, or no?
No, I don't think they want to let me in it. I won't be that good.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a cool experience. Maybe one day. Maybe. So I think that is pretty much all the questions I have for you. Obviously, it's pretty obvious how I feel about what you guys are doing. I got it. The one place that if I had to knock you anywhere, is when I pass my evaluation. I actually made a meme about this, giving you guys a hard time a little bit, but the process from passing the eval to then getting the funded account was, as a trader, you're like, you're chomping at the bit. So I think it took a little bit over a week. But the fact you guys put us on real funds, I thought, this makes sense. This actually makes me feel good about the fact that they're putting you on real funds. But you got to give me that account faster, man.
No, for sure. And I think, we were already starting to address it, and then we saw your Narcos meme, and I was like, okay, come on, guys, we are a joke now. So that's not good. It can be slow sometimes. Unfortunately, what we're doing, we are automating. Again, we have our own technology, so we're consistently building on top of that. And what we're doing right now is actually we're automating the KYC, we're automating the contracts, so that the whole way through the process is just going to be, as soon as you do your KYC, it gets approved, you get automatically the contract, you sign the contract, you then automatically get your account. So that's where we're moving to. I think within the next 2-3 weeks, that whole automated process is going to be in place. And so as quick as you will be to set it all up, you'll get your account.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. You see what a meme can do? It gets memes sometimes to just get the ball rolling. You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, it gives us a kick in the ass.
Yeah, that's right. I'm always good at that. I'll meme you to death for sure. Yeah. I saw you guys actually did I think it was you guys that did a video with the Narcos thing. I forget exactly what the subject of the video was, but it gave me a good laugh.
Yeah. We I suppose you've inspired us a little bit in that way too, about seeing your content and the way you're doing it. And again, we are a serious company, but you can always inject a little bit of humor in there too to be engaging. So I think Antonio from our team was just trying to find his funded account that got lost from his prop firm. So he's made a few little memes like that, which are really funny.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Trading can be a very lonely and emotional, stressful, and I know in my journey I've definitely had some lows, and if you can't have a little fun every now and then to lift your spirits, I mean, that's kind of what I'm trying to do with my content, my page is, obviously we all go through these dark times, these hard times as traders. So just try to shine a little light on it with a little bit of fun. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, look, and I think your point as well about community earlier on is there too. One of the big things that we're trying to do is be community focused there as well. And really, we're on Discord. I join every 2 weeks for an AMA on a Thursday. And look, I think that engagement, traders to traders and traders to prop firm is essential, because as you say, it's a lonely thing. And even, when you get funded, it's also like, okay, now you're through, now you got a responsibility and an opportunity. And so, having those supports there is good.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. And I didn't know you guys were on Discord, so I'll have to hop on the Discord. And I think that's really all the questions I have. But once again, thank you for putting the traders first. And as a trader, I truly appreciate that. And keep building an awesome product for us. And I'm gonna keep using it. So. Thank you again for taking the time to speak with me today. And if you have any other final thoughts, please feel free to share.
Yeah, no, look, thanks for your time today as well. Again, from that meme you did, that gave us feedback. We're always here to take feedback. And so, if you feel like sharing any more memes, do it and we'll start acting. So keep up the good work yourself.
Absolutely, we'll do. Well, thank you again, Gary, and hopefully we will talk again soon sometime and meet in person here one of these days.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, Gary. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.